Reba McIntyre is in Monroe County, Mississippi, looking for her great-grandfather, B.W. Brassfield. She's hit a dead end after searching the census and obituaries.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm Reba.
I'm Josh Taylor.
Hey, Josh.
Now, Reba is hoping genealogist Josh Taylor's investigation into the Brassfields has been more successful.
I went to see my mother, and she was telling me about my great-grandfather, B.W. Brassfield.
Okay.
So I came down here and looked in the obituaries, and he found the obituaries.
All right, well, I will tell you that I did find B.W. It took a little bit of work. That's a lie, it took a lot of work. It's difficult research.
Yeah.
But I do have something for you.
Oh, good.
That might hold some answers.
Okay. Wow, you have been doing some work. That is incredible. So Reba, that's my grandmother, was born 1903. B.W. died September 12th in 1906 in Monroe County, Mississippi. But we didn't find him in the obituaries.
We know B.W. Brassfield was a farmer,
Uh-huh.
so his family probably couldn't afford an obituary. And one thing you'll notice with the Brassfields here, you spell it with 2 S's, and B.W. spelled it differently.
Uh-huh.
When people were writing names, they probably didn't write them themselves, so they relied on someone else to actually spell the name. You might find it with 1 ish, you might find it with 2 S's, it just depends. As you go along in your research, you have to, keep that in mind.
This tree goes all the way back to my 4 times great-grandfather, George Brassfield.
See, I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting, B.W. and then 1 back, and here you're giving me 3 more back. This is a lot to comprehend right now for me. George Brassfield, born about 1765 in Wake County, North Carolina.
He also was born before the American Revolution, so he would have been a child when independence was declared.
Wow.
And would have grown up during the War of Independence.
Wow. So George Brassfield was Wake County, North Carolina. You can't really pinpoint a town, can you?
Well, what I can pinpoint is that there were some very interesting things happening in Wake County about this time period, and you really ought to visit.
That's my next stop, huh?
I would recommend it.
Yeah. Okay, good. I feel really tickled about knowing who my 4 times great-grandfather is. George Brassfield. That's incredible. I'm the first one in my family to know that. What brought him to North Carolina? Was he a prominent man in society? Was he well thought of, or was he a scoundrel? That's the kind of stuff I want to look into and see what they thought about him.
So I'm taking my search to Raleigh, the state capital, in Wake County, North Carolina. I'm going to meet historian Phil Otterness at the State Archives to find out what was going on in this area when George Brassfield lived here.
Thank you very much for meeting me here. I have come over to try to find out more about my 4 times great-grandfather, George Brassfield. He was born in Wake County in 1765. That was before we gained our independence.
It was a time when this area was just being settled. If we jump ahead a little bit to when he was a young man in North Carolina, they decided to build the state capital in Wake County. There was no Raleigh here at all, and they were going to carve it out of farmland. Why don't we look at this?
Okay.
There's a plan of the city of Raleigh, 1817. So here you can see the State House or the Capitol there. They have this grand street. One of the things that's interesting here, you see the governor's palace.
Oh, governor got a palace there.
Yeah.
Wow, uptown. I'm looking for old George. Oh. Da-da-da. There he is. George Brassfield, lot number 15. What was on this land?
Let's move to the land records. So the records are contained in this book. It's dated quite a bit later, 1846 to 1849.
So, it's kind of falling apart here just a little bit. Wow, incredible.
This document comes to us from a period about 20 years after George Brassfield, your 4-time great-grandfather, had died. But it talks about the property that he had in the town of Raleigh.
Okay, state of North Carolina. Boy, a lot of description here. Okay, here's known as Brassfield Old Tavern Lot. So we owned a bar.
That's right.
No wonder I'm so comfortable singing in honky tonks all the time. That's hysterical. So he must have had a little bit of money, been kind of well off to own a business like that. Did he have any other properties?
The best place to look for that is in the tax records.
Okay. Wake County tax list, 1781 to 1860. So, whoa, these are delicate looking. 1803, you know, Brassfield, so it jumps to 1810. A list of the taxables and taxable property in Lick Creek District. You gotta love that. 1810. There it is. George Brassfield, Esquire. Land, 1,615 acres.
That's right.
And 3/4. So that's land. What do these take care of? W, pole?
W stands for white, and pole is representing an individual. In North Carolina, what they did was they taxed adult white men. And that probably referred to George Brassfield himself as the owner of that property.
And B-pole?
B-pole stands for black pole, women and men between the ages of 12 and 52.
So that would mean he had 10 slaves?
That's right, 10 slaves on his property.
Coming up, Reba faces more